Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. Pod Up, because we are Gator fans. So say it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of the program. It's Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to carry us Tuesday. You know what that means. Our late night game show host, Buddy Martin, will join us here in just a minute on the Titan More Hotline. We are 12 days away from Gator football. Shoot us your favorite number 12. I got a couple that are very, they're going to be very common. But in the meantime, let's go to Ocala, Florida, and we're joined by the host of the Buddy Martin Show. You can listen to Buddy every Monday through. I don't know if he's gone to Friday nights or he still takes Friday nights off.
Not yet. I work
Monday through Thursday, about 9 Eastern time. Good morning, buddy. How are you?
Morning, Shane. I'm doing good. Good to talk to you again. Good show last night. Excuse me. Gotta get a sip of my morning water. Yeah, I'm kind of buzzed after that trip to the Heavener yesterday, and I've been thinking about it ever since then. Been so much stuff going on there. Can you hear me all right? Hello, Shane, are you there?
I'm here. I don't know what's going on. I guess it's my internet. I don't know.
Okay.
There's a lot of construction going on, so I guess that's what. Can you hear me?
I got you fine, Shane. We'll overcome this technology. We'll get through this. We'll power through this. Right. Just a really good day yesterday going through the Heavener. I took that tour with 30 members of the media. I went about 65 or 7%, didn't go all the way through the whole building. I saw enough, though, to really buzz me about the whole thing. And I've got some things to say about the future and about what pieces are in place now for this program. We're talking about, that old saying, that's Ford Motor Company used to say, built to last. That this is something that's it's beyond a game changer, and I'm trying not to overstate it, but I was really impressed, enjoyed my time talking to Scott Strickland yesterday in the lobby for a little bit about what happened. And what took place last week was miraculous. As you so accurately said, some of it was staged. But Scott said that was all on Billy's part in terms of waiting for these commitments and then coming with this building, which is a remarkable piece of architecture. It's just a terrific place, not just for athletes, which is great. It's also for the whole University of Florida. You can be really proud of that. That is something special.
No question about it. We got a bunch of number 12s here. Chris Leak, Doug Johnson, Kerwin Bell, John Brantley. I tell you who wore number 12 for a couple of years in his career that people may forget. That was a phenomenal wide receiver. Quezzy Green wore 12.
Oh, did he? I forgot about that. Yeah,
for 1 or 2 years, and then switched to number 5. So
I think I was 5. Yeah, I think I was 5. Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. Well, I got a bunch of 12s, not necessarily related to Florida. In high school, I wore 12 in football, 12 in basketball, and 12 in baseball. So can you beat that, Shane? 12 all the way through.
I've never been a fan of number 12. I think because everybody wore number 12 as a quarterback. When you think about back in the day.
Bradshaw.
Roger Staubach. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can go on and on and on.
Yeah.
And I've never been a fan of number 12 for some reason. We got a couple of texts here, buddy. Get to this is Alan up in Atlanta. He says, see the above article from ESPN. 51 offensive linemen get NIL deals with Hooters. These are the kind of deals everyone expected in the NIL. Mm-hmm. National deals by large corporations with no specific geographic or school ties. I think most everybody's okay with this NIL scenario. Absolutely. And what we don't know is we don't even know if Hooters is stroking them a check. Hooters could be saying, here, boys, here's a $500 gift card that you can use whenever, or you get X amount of wings for free, so who knows? But yeah, that was good stuff. Daryl says, good morning, guys. I watched some of the Ravens. Oh, that was yesterday. He says Kerwin Bell is his favorite number 12.
Yeah, good 12. Yeah, or good 12.
Yeah. Okay, so here's John, and this is what I just threw out there. He says, fun fact, both Jaquez Green and Joe Hayden started out as number 12, and they both switched to number 5.
Well, that's good stuff.
I forgot about Joe Hayden. Yeah.
Well, they changed numbers so much. It used to be when you got a number, that was your number, and you stayed with it. Now they change all the time. It's always number 1 or whatever. If I said, you tell me who number 1 was, you can come up with 2 or 3. I can tell you the first number 1 I ever saw at Florida. He was a tiny linebacker. Jack Card played for Gene Ellis' team when Coach Spurrier, even before he started playing, about 155-pound linebacker. he blitzed every play. So Jack Card, number 1, the first number 1 I remember. I know Scott Brantley, my good friend, by the way. I hope Scott's doing good. He really bucks him and really makes him nuts that linebackers were single digits. Anymore.
Well, the NFL last year changed the rules where you can wear anything you want. I absolutely can't stand it. But maybe it's because I'm that old guy who the NFL, they went. I think Keyshawn Johnson, whenever he came into the league, was the first receiver not to wear an 80 number. He wore 19 because they didn't have enough numbers. They didn't have enough eligible numbers, so they made a rule where he could allow it. Well, then a lot of receivers started wearing in the teens. I could deal with that. But when they started putting the DBs and the linebackers and all those in single digits, I don't know any NFL guys that like it, because from a scouting report and personnel, it makes things very, very difficult on offenses, offensive linemen, things of that nature. So Greg asked, what number was Scott Brantley? Wasn't Scott 55?
Yeah, 55, but in high school, 52, I believe. And then I think he wore 50. Whatever you were with the Bucks, I've forgotten. But yeah, he was 55. I always call him 55. That's his nickname. Yeah. Anybody ever call you by your number? Hey, Niner.
Everybody calls me.
You know who those
calls me Niner.
Most famous Niner ever in all of sports? Tell me who it is. The most famous Niner.
Roger Maris?
No. Ted Williams was number 9.
Ted Williams, yep. He was a good one. Yeah. Wayne says his number 12 is Chris Leak, the all-time leading passing leader here. Yeah, people don't realize that, but Chris Leak is our all-time leading passer.
Well, that's a little bit misleading, because you got to go by what you say percentage, talking about touchdowns, talking about what are you talking about all the time? Most passes completed?
Yardage.
Okay, well, say that, because there's different numbers.
I thought I did say that.
Well, you said all-time leading passer could mean.
Well, most people, when you say the all-time leading passer, you think yardage. Because when you say who's the all-time leading passer in the NFL, you don't think touchdowns, you think yardage. Okay, this comes from an anonymous texter who says, on a podcast yesterday, one of the hosts said that if we use Anthony like the Ravens use Lamar Jackson, we could win a lot of games. Yeah, I agree 100% with that.
I don't know.
He's a better runner than he is a thrower.
Yeah, but he's nowhere near like Lamar.
Well, I mean, he's a more powerful runner.
He's a physical guy. He's big, he's strong. Lamar's not a big, strong guy. He's a quick guy. He's a fast. He's hard to. No, I don't agree with that at all. No.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's switch gears. Let's talk about the Utah Utes. I was looking at some stuff. I looked at their schedule. There's these these so-called experts all on Twitter and on TV that pick their 14 playoff.
Yeah.
I've seen 2 of them, and I meant to write their names down. But 2 of them have Utah playing in the Final Four. But both of these people had the same exact teams. They had Alabama, Ohio State, Utah, and I want to say it was Georgia. Okay. So I said, you know what? I'm going to look at Utah's schedule, because the Pac-12, they're the defending champs. How good are they? They got 18 starters coming back from a championship team. That's a lot in college football these days.
Yes, it is.
They play USC, who you got to think USC is going to be pretty decent under Lincoln Riley and all the transfers. They play them at home at Salt Lake City. But they travel to Oregon and they travel to UCLA. Oregon's ranked, UCLA's not. Who knows? So I was thinking, if they beat the Gators, is it smooth sailing? Since that's going to be the most hostile environment for them. If they beat the Gators, are they smooth sailing to the 14 playoff?
I don't know how smooth sailing you mean, but they got a clear path.
Yeah, well, that's smooth sailing. Clear path, smooth sailing, same thing, buddy.
I'm a word guy, Shane. I mean, it means different things to me, okay?
Yeah.
Like you say, well, a pass is a pass. Doesn't matter if it's a post route or if it's a dig or whatever. No, it's not. It's a different word. So, yeah, I get the point. And the point is that it's a favorable schedule, and the Gator game is a big one. I'm not sure who it's bigger for, Florida or Utah. I said this before, and I'll keep repeating it. Kyle Whittingham is a really fantastic coach. All right,
I think it's a huge game for Utah. It's a big game for Gators, with it being Billy's first start.
Yeah,
but we're not sitting there with potential to go play in the 14 playoff. I mean, I bet if Utah, you got them behind closed doors and said, "Damn, if we didn't have to go to Gainesville, Florida this year, and they were playing, whoever, Middle Tennessee State kicked the season off." Yeah. I think they would really be looking at possibly making it to the 14 playoff. But they're coming into a hostile environment with it's going to be it may be one of the best crowds we've ever had, buddy.
Yeah, well, it is going to be a great one. It's going to be. I mean, I'm a little concerned about this game. But more I think about it, more I talk about it, and Gator fans who are out there say, "Oh, they're going to win by 2 touchdowns." You don't understand, folks. This is a sound, fundamental team with good players. As Shane points out, I think it's 17, 18 returners. Whittingham's teams don't make mistakes. He knows what he's up against, and they're going to be stout. They're going to be difficult, and it's going to take a little something for Florida to win that game. They're going to have a couple of really great plays. They have kicking. We talked about this last night. We could hardly remember the name of the punter. We know who it is now, obviously, but he's going to have a big role. How good is the kicking game for Florida? I don't know. But those kinds of things could make a difference. Now, I don't see it being a blowout either way, but I do think it's a game that'll be won by 1 or 2 really big plays. And as you point out, Utah's got some playmakers, including their quarterback, and they're a very, very well-coached team. They're going to be hard to beat.
Yep. We just got a Facebook Live from Camp says they have 18 returning starters plus transferred Diabate from here.
Yeah.
And I assume he's a starter. I don't know. We'll get somebody on from Utah next week and talk about that. So he says basically they have 19 starters returning theoretically. So
really? Okay. I've read somewhere 7. Maybe I'm confusing 17 with the years he's coached at Utah. But I'm going to find out this week about the odds and whatever. I'm going to have dinner with Danny Sheridan Thursday night. You know, the old handicapper. Mm-hmm. And he's speaking at the Fight Gator Touchdown Club. And I'm going to get his numbers next week, do a show on it. We're getting down to start picking games and picking the seasons and picking winners. And I got to put my mind around that. And I think Danny can coach me up on the side. Look, what they say about it in Vegas matters. So we'll see what they say.
Yeah, Joseph says they gave Ohio State all they wanted last year in the Rose Bowl.
Yes, lost by 3 points.
Yeah, here we go. John says on the Titan and Mark text line, Josh Pate. I don't know who Josh Pate is. Do you, buddy?
No.
Had Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, and Utah in his Final Four. Their fans, Utah's fans, were saying how they went to the big house and had no problem. The swamp in September is not the same as Ann Arbor. No, I've had many people that have been to the big house. And it's a huge crowd, but it's an older type crowd, meaning, you get a lot of golf claps. You get a lot of people kind of sitting on their hands. The atmosphere is totally different, different. So, okay, buddy. So we had a couple texts on here on the Titan Mar text line. A few people were asking you what your favorite portion or part of the Heavener football facility is. I know you didn't get to go to all of it. But what was your favorite that you saw?
Well, I mean, my favorite was just the whole package. I can't tell you, was it the video room, was it the lockers, whatever. But my favorite thing was what it represents. My favorite thing was the amazing amount of research and the planning that went into it. And it comes together. And the word you keep hearing about it is it brings efficiency, the ability to move about in such a short order, get players together, get good facilities. It is a massive improvement for the care and feeding of athletes. And what's really amazing to me is they're going to feed every single athlete at Florida. Franz Beard has a really good piece on Gatorbait this morning. And they're walk-ons included, Shane. I mean, I could, as a freshman baseball player, I could have walked in there.
Because in the past, before all NIL and all that stuff, it was crazy. After practice, they used to set up food like in the old Gator room over in the stadium.
Right.
Whether it was whoever it was catered by or whatever.
Right.
But the walk-ons weren't allowed to go in there. I mean, how ridiculous is that? Now they're allowed to do whatever. So
exactly. Well, I want to say that it was kind of like it was overwhelming in some regards. Shane, is like if you got a brand new Bentley. Okay. Have you ever ridden in a Bentley?
No, and I could care less about a Bentley.
Well, maybe you can, but some people like it. I've never ridden in it either. I'm just saying, if you rode in a Bentley and you say, well, what did you like most about it? What you like most about it is it's a Bentley, and it's the experience. And I think the way the one word that sticks to me, and if I could just say this, Chip Howard did a fabulous job on help shepherding this thing. And Scott Strickland deserves a lot of credit for that. He was bursting with pride yesterday, but it should be. Is that someone asked Chip at the end of the conversation, 30 minutes ago, what do you think it represents? And he said, commitment. And I heard it the first time from Billy Napier when he said screams commitment. I thought he meant commitment from the players. They mean commitment by the University of Florida. They put their money where their mouth is. And by the way, Shane, the smell there, I kept smelling. I think this is not like a new car. What is this? And I figured out it was money, the smell of money. They put not 85 million in there. They put 89 million because Chip Howard explained the extra 4 million came for the ground screw room over at the baseball stadium of over 4 million, which contributed to that. So it's an $89 million commitment. And it's something like, I don't want to overstate it, but I will. Carlos Alvarez said, everybody put a brick in the stadium, all right? Shane, you probably put a wall in there, but everybody put a brick in that stadium. Well, to me, this is like putting a marble slab in the stadium and saying, carve me out a masterpiece. And they have done just that. They have got a masterpiece with the Heavener. It is amazing.
Yeah, it's the only, and it's not a complaint. It's just that you use that word commitment. It just took way too damn long to get the commitment.
Shane, are you always going to be one of those guys who complains?
No, buddy. For the last 12 years, I've been saying we have no chance until we have one of those facilities. Now we do. We got a Facebook Live here. It's a good question by Joseph. He says, will the players dress at the new facility on game day? No. This is where the equipment guys hate it. Because the equipment guys, it's like in the NFL for the most part. They're going to have to load up each player's equipment, drive it over to the south end zone so they can get dressed there. What they could do, but they're not going to do, what Clemson does. Clemson gets dressed at their football facility, gets on buses, and buses over to the Rock and runs down the hill there.
And it's a thing now at Clemson. It's a thing.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean it's unbelievable. I mean those buses are rocking. I don't see them doing that, but the equipment guys have to pack up all the equipment and get it over to the stadium.
I got an idea. Have the Gator walk in a full uniform. How about that?
Yeah, that's a long walk, though.
You got to walk it anyway. The Gator walk.
Yeah, I mean it's probably a little bit shorter where they drop them off and they go through the stadium. Yeah, I mean they're basically the equipment guys are going to have to move their stuff over there. That's just
they got a million equipment guys. They can get all they want. So
they do. They do. Okay, so buddy, you and I talked about this last night, and I don't. It struck a nerve with me and being Troop a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're talking about what's next.
Yeah.
Obviously Scott Strickland has talked about making the Swamp more fan friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think of that, I think, okay, take the alumni side, lower bowl, take out the bleachers, the aluminum bleachers, put chair backs and space them out, decrease your capacity where it's comfortable for people to sit in chairs. And then the biggest thing that has to happen, in my opinion, and I think this goes before that, is you take the lower bowl of the south end zone up to the mezzanine area. You take out every one of those aluminum bleachers.
South end zone. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, the tunnel where the Gators run out.
Yeah.
That entire area there, take those bleachers out and you level it all somehow or make a little two-tiered deal where it's kind of got like tables and stuff. You got an area for former players, and you got an area for recruits, and make that entire south end zone a recruiting area,
mezzanine type place where you have tables.
I mean,
and stuff.
I don't know how you actually design it.
Think baseball. Look at the Rays Stadium; they have all those things they have in there where you have
some type of outdoor recliners,
right.
Or chairs that are. I mean, you got to soup it up for the recruits. Having those recruits sitting on those little metal bleachers that you see at the boys' club down there, you can't see anything.
Yeah,
that's got to go. That's where I would do to the swamp.
Good idea.
By building a new swamp, I am so against that because it's an iconic. I know they built a new Yankee Stadium and all that stuff, but that's different. This is a college football stadium. There ain't a damn thing wrong with it. It ain't comfortable to sit in, but people still show up and get hot and sweaty. So I hope they never build another stadium.
All right, good point. But I got a reference to where that came from, why I said it. And you're right. They got a lot of response last night from people. A lot of people upset about the idea. But when you're in a planning mode, by the way, this is just a casual question I asked to Chip Howard. When I kiddingly said, "What's next?" You got Ben Hill Griffin, and he kind of laughed and he said, "I'm retiring." But I said, "What are the options?" Well, the options. This is just thinking. This is not like a plan. You think, what can we do? You can refurbish it, like you talked about, and with a plan, like you just. You can rebuild it right there, or you can relocate it. All right. Now that's not a word that Gator fans want to hear because they say, "I'm not going to be the swamp. You can't do that." And I get it, and I feel somewhat that way. But that was just a concept discussion. It really wasn't about plan or anything else. So, but I know what you're saying, and I like your idea. It's good. I don't want to see it move either because it forevermore will be the swamp.
Well, you and I won't be around if it is ever moved.
Well, I won't be. You might be. So
I don't think I will be either. There's no way. No way.
Well, we'll be watching.
We've had some people
up heaven, and we're looking down on him.
We've had some people talk about, I guess, my thoughts on doing the south end zone. He says we need it packed. It will be packed. And you hear a lot of former players. What people don't realize, former players, if you aren't a season ticket holder, you don't get in the game. Okay, they don't have an area for former players to go.
Well, Letterman's club outside there, but I mean, it's not the game.
But you can't get into the stadium.
No, I mean, got it. You're right.
You want to drive up from Tampa and go sit there and eat a hot dog? I mean, you can't go in the stadium. So
when's the last time you ate at Letterman's club, Shane?
I don't know if I've ever been in there.
Okay, you got to go in there and eat.
So my point is, there are a lot of former players who don't have access to getting to the games or getting tickets.
Right.
A majority of the SEC schools, even Florida State, has an area designated for former players.
Really?
And that's why they need to do something, in my opinion, in that end zone, mainly for former players and recruits. Recruits. So
I like that. I think you're right about the former players. They deserve a little bit more love and respect. And you got to embrace that. I love that they had 100 former players. Did you go with that group? You went with that group, 100 players over to the tour, took the tour first, and all those guys. And they were all like, had their iPhones out, walking through the Heavener, and they're like, and Strickland said they were like recruits. So they were like kids walking through there. You're right. I agree about the former players. I'm with you on that. And I like your idea on the end zone.
Yeah. Alan says those improvements reduce seating capacity. Don't get me wrong. I agree with your idea for improvements, but you're going to lose 5,000 fans.
I don't care.
It doesn't matter because stadiums are getting smaller.
They're all getting bigger. Exactly right. And 25%.
And it's sold out sold out for Utah.
Right.
But all the other games, if you go the last few years, there's 10, 15,000 empty seats. So
what do you get to the lesser games? You'll see more than that. It's not a packed out. Maybe sold out, but not a packed out.
So John says on the Titan MR text line, we should probably give Muschamp and McElwain some credit for the new facility for getting the ball rolling on this. Yes, Will Muschamp, definitely. Muschamp, if people have never heard me, he wanted to take over where lacrosse is because you already had 3 practice fields and plenty of land to build a football facility there, which would have been ideal. But I think Jeremy Foley shot that down. Didn't want to move lacrosse to where football is now. But yeah, Will. So I can't even remember how many years ago Will was here, but he was trying like hell to get a standalone facility.
2011, 12, whatever it was.
Yeah. Are you in the market to buy or sell your home? Doreen Weeby, a realtor with Caldwell Banker in Paris, will provide you with fast, friendly, reliable service. Call her today, 352-562-1411 to help your dreams come true. Speaking with Buddy Martin here on the Titan Tomorrow hotline. Getting a million texts today, buddy.
Well, it's football season, Shane. It's time.
Yep. This is from an anonymous texter. Frank. Frank says, Shane, when you played at Florida, were there any times where the crowd noise really bothered you and the team? Not at home. That's a great question. You really, from an offense, I think crowd noise, defenses feed off crowd noise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Defense is more emotion. Offense is, you got to be cerebral. You got to be thinking whether you call a play in the huddle or it's signal from the sideline. You have to be thinking about, okay, what's my assignment? If they give me this look, what do I got to do? You got so much going through your head.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even hear it. It's weird to explain.
I get it.
But on the road, the crowd noise usually affects the offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Now they go to the clap.
Right.
I have friends of mine that are around my age and played in the league a long time. We still can't figure out the clap because he's like, I would rather try to hear the voice of my quarterback in my snap count. So it's the new world we live in. But that's a great question. Another text here on the Titan Tomorrow text line.
Shane, let me ask you a question real quick.
Mm-hmm.
When you were playing and you were getting the Spurrier play, he was signaling the plays. How many times you just say, Coach, give me the damn play. The clock's running down here.
Wait, say that one more time. I was reading this text.
When you were playing quarterback and Spurrier signaling the plays, he did more so with Werfel than you in regards to waiting to the last possible second to get the play in. How many times you say, Coach, give me the damn play. I want to run the play.
Oh, that happened a lot of times. A lot of times, if he didn't signal in, I just called something.
Yeah, what'd you call?
Well, it depended on the situation.
Dive play.
No, I didn't call any run plays. I can promise you that. Maybe every now and then.
Yeah, you did call once. Well, sneak every now and then.
Yeah. Okay, so, buddy, you were talking last night. You got your new little thing going now. Yeah. Explain to the fans about your orange and blue bloods.
I was kind of surprised by the reaction to that, how it took off. And I'm not going to take the long version because it'll take forever here. But basically, if you want to be more than just an average fan, and you can be whatever you want to be. You're a Gator fan. You can watch at home on TV, whatever. It doesn't require a license to be one. But if you want to be a fan and you want to help the team, you will be committed. I came up with the term the orange and blue bloods. That says it all right there. And some friends of mine and I got together and said, let's just make it a thing, orange and blue bloods. Let's get organized. Then we got to talk about last night. What do you do? We're organizing a group of people who are working on this. We got a little insignia, which we're using. If you talk about getting a tattoo on your body someplace, orange and blue bloods. It's a term of endearment. It's a term means you're more than just a Gator fan. Like I said, if you belong to a political party, you have a reason for it. You state your purpose. If you belong to a church or a synagogue or temple, whatever you belong to, you have a preference. You state it. If you think you're a cut above or you're someone who wants to do more than just be a fan, turn on the TV and turn it off, then this is something you could be a part of. Because, and here's why. Fans have got to take back the game of college football. How do you do that? One fan at a time, one school at a time. We can't save all of college football. We can't save the SEC. But Gator fans can make a claim. This is my team. I want to be a part of something special. I am an orange and blue blood. You take a short pledge and you're in. That's what it is. And so far, it's been met with a remarkable amount of enthusiasm.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. And, I think there's so much excitement out there right now.
There is.
I just want the fans to, because you said last night, people said I was being negative. Was I being negative?
No, one or two people said. You were just being honest. You weren't being negative.
I was being honest.
But people take things different. They take them
right.
wrong.
People take things different. And like I said, I hope I'm 110% wrong. Yeah. We are, people forget. I meant to write this down. We are an extremely young football team, okay? We don't have a whole lot of experience when you think about it. Okay. People worry about Jack Miller being out and who's the backup. Our starting quarterback, and I love some of Billy's answers.
33 passes.
Has completed 33 passes. He says most Florida quarterbacks complete that in a game.
That's how he said the great ones.
Oh, he said the great. Yeah.
How many times did you complete 33 or more passes, Shane?
Maybe a few times. We didn't throw it as much. See,
no, but you
started throwing it a lot more once I left.
True.
But anyway.
Well, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, we just and I talked on your show last night. You know, watching us practice, it's different, and it's going to change over the next couple of years. When you watch practice next year and the following years after that, you're going to see
different
tremendously talented players. And you know, because you didn't get to see the analyst room up there, buddy.
No, I didn't.
It's up in the coach. It reminded me of, and I've never been in one, but you've been in a million newsrooms. Okay.
Yeah.
When you watch them on TV,
right?
When you walk in and it's just this huge open area with 100 desks next to one another.
That's the newsroom.
Computers.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the analyst room looks like.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
Interesting.
And, you know, if I could name one person in that analyst room, I should win a prize. But
really?
I mean, there's so many damn.
Can't think of one even.
I wouldn't know one analyst.
Really?
Not one. Really? So,
well, these are the guys. These are all the extras that he had it on.
Correct. This is part of his people. So he's got basically the way Katie Turner. We're going to have Katie Turner on it at some point. She's so damn busy.
Yeah.
But basically, take the wide receiver coach, who's Kerry Colbert.
Right.
Okay. And I think I've spoken about this. He's got like 2 or 3 analysts just for wide receivers. So those guys break down whether it's practice, whether it's the high school receivers within a 400-mile radius, or they have a guy, I'm going to break down the wide receivers in the Southeast, and then they got a guy, I'm going to break down the people west of the Mississippi.
Who are left-handed.
Yeah. So they have it broken down where nobody's overworked, and they can focus on that one area that's theirs.
Wow.
And then they report and say, okay, here are the guys that fit our criteria, because they have a mold. What's your wingspan? What's your hand size? What's this? What's that? And then they show it to the coaching staff, and then that's how they determine.
Wow. Is that too much information, Shane? I don't know. That's a lot.
But it can be. But I will say this. It's been pretty good for that team in Tuscaloosa and Athens. And
no, it's no doubt about the model. The model has been proven, so doubt about it. I think it's genius that they're doing. Shane, I want you to help me on this. I'm thinking about the offense today. This morning, 5 o'clock, laying in bed, thinking about daydreaming about who are going to be the main guys on offense in terms of coaches. We know Billy's the quarterback coach, right? We know Rob Salem and the other guys. What's his name is offensive line. We know who the wide receiver coach is. I just stop and think who's coaching tight ends, who's coaching running backs, etc. on offense. What is the brain trust? Primarily, it's Sale and Napier. But do you know the offensive staff and who they are?
No.
Kerry Colbert.
Well, I could if I walk into the Gators, if they all lined up,
right?
Okay, I can tell you Kerry Colbert because I've talked to him quite a bit because he played in the league. He was a wide receiver.
Right.
Mike Peterson.
Well, he's defense. I'm talking offense.
Now. Oh, on offense. Oh no, that's it. That's the only coach. I mean, Billy Nathan.
Rob Sale, you know who he is.
I do, but they. I mean, I take that back. Cheston Blackshear, former Gator, is an offensive analyst on the offensive line.
Okay, but he's an analyst, not a coach.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I'm just saying.
The only one.
Okay, so I want to get a feel for who these people are, and what happened. Who's the tight end coach, for instance? I'm not even sure about that. I mean, I have to.
I think his name is. I don't know. On defense, there's only 2.
Well, we'll look it up. Well, next week we'll know, right?
Corey Raymond and Mike Peterson. I mean, I know who they all are, but I don't know who they all are.
Well, we know. Yeah, we know the defensive side. Tony and Raymond are going to be fierce, and we know Mike Pete, etc. And Sean's. We know Coach Chaos, right? So I'm just wondering who these people are. Anyway, we got to start thinking about that. Put our thinking caps on, my grandma used to say, and talk about Gator football in a different way next week, Shane.
Yeah, I mean, it's kickoff next week. We got a text on the Titan Mar text line before we get you out here. John says, QB and Buddy, if we were making our preseason predictions, would you take Alabama or the field to win the national championship? I got Alabama to win it all. The more people I talk to, they say this is Saban's best team he's had.
I'm not sure of that.
Doesn't mean they can't lose a couple
things
games.
Can happen, injuries, mistakes. You thought that was a slam dunk last year. It turned out differently when they lost their wide receivers. I would say I wouldn't have a lot of conviction about it. I'd probably take Alabama, but we don't know who the players are yet. We don't know the team. We don't really know. There's a lot of good-looking freshmen we never heard of. They're going to be names you're going to hear about now in college football. I don't understand. Look, I'm trying to take it one opponent at a time. Like, I think your buddy Chris Doring, and I said this in a tweet, is over his skis on Kentucky. I mean, he's got them going like 11-1. I mean, come on, man. Really? I mean, Kentucky? I mean, they're good, but they aren't that good. And Rodriguez misses the first 3 or 4 games, although the guy behind him is pretty darn good. Cavassier, one of the great names in college sports. So I don't know. I mean, there's a lot we don't know, Shane. In fact, most of it we don't know. Well, that's what makes it so great. College football starts a week from Saturday, and we got to find out.
It starts this Saturday, buddy.
Well, not our football.
Right. Alan says he loves stats. Don't you agree that Jimbo Fisher now ranks as the most disliked SEC coach? It's not Kirby. It's not Kirby or Saban anymore. It's Jimbo.
Maybe. I talked to someone who knows Kirby really well, one of his closest friends and associates. He told me that Kirby cares about 3 things. That's it, period. He's singularly focused on his recruiting, football, and what time he has left or goes to the family, and nothing else in his life. He's never seen a more focused guy than Kirby is. And it shows. I think Billy's focused too, don't you?
Yes. I'll tell you this. I know a lot of people don't like Kirby. I've met Kirby several times.
Yeah.
He's a good dude, man.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
He's a really good guy. And you're right. I mean, he plays golf, he fishes and hunts and does
but
that
not
stuff.
Seriously. Yeah, but not seriously.
No, but he's all about I think what's cool, and I mentioned this, buddy, what he's doing at Georgia is very similar to what Steve Spurrier did here.
Really?
Old player comes back to his alma mater. They were struggling.
Yeah.
Although Georgia still was winning 9 games under.
But they were winning championships. No trouble.
Right. But he's, it's kind of cool when a former player goes back to their university.
Hey, Shane, I know you know this, but just in case people forget, how blessed is the University of Florida to have Steve Spurrier? I mean, think about it. Never mind his restaurant and all that, all great things it brings. To have someone like that, you played for him, you know him, you done a show with him, right, this year? And, I mean, to have a guy like that still around, that is a treasure. Just in case we forget, folks, when you say your thanks to whoever you pray to, thank him for Steve Spurrier, because he has a lot to do with this. In fact, Shane, you wouldn't be sitting here right now if it wasn't for him.
I wouldn't. I mean, you go back and you think if he never was hired by the University of Florida, who knows what would have happened to all of us. So, yes. Yeah, we owe a lot to him. And I was with him at the scrimmage the other day, and he's just –
what did he say?
He makes me laugh. He's so damn funny. I mean, the general public doesn't get to hang out with him like we do.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a unique human being.
Mm-hmm.
And remembers everything. He's what? He is 77. Is that right, buddy?
I think 77 is right, yeah.
And his mind is just incredible to me.
It is. Incredible. And he remembers it all, and he does. And he'll tell you, the great ones do that. Jack Nicklaus remember every shot he ever hit in golf. I mean, amazing. Steve will tell you exactly. One thing he didn't remember on the book we wrote, he couldn't remember in the SEC championship game, what game it was, where Doring threw the pass, and he ran the Emory and Henry. He wasn't sure they were both on the same thing. I had to get Chris Doring to get his parents' film and look it up to find out it was the same game where they had the Doring pass and they had the Emory and Henry. Emory and Henry. It never really did that much, but it was one of the great formations. I mean, it was great to have something like the Emory and Henry. Made it fun.
All right, Steve sent a text on the Titan Mar text line before we get you out of here, buddy. I feel like we've asked you this already. Maybe you've given us an answer. Steve wants to know, buddy, what's your prediction on the Gators this year?
I haven't said it yet.
Okay.
I'm sort of whack. I'm going back and forth. I'm somewhere around. I'm right around a little over 7. Trying to think if I want to go to 8, and I got to figure it out. I thought about this today. The greatest pick I ever made in my life, and it never went public. My wife will tell you, was back. Remember the choke it note?
Yeah.
I was walking out of my house here in Ocala to drive to Tallahassee, and my wife said to me, "Who's going to win the game?" And I said, "I don't know. It may be a tie." I swear I said that. Now I can't prove it, but that's the greatest pick. I mean, I remain. I don't know. I'm not a good picker, Steve.
I'll tell you where I was that day. I was with the Bears.
Yeah.
We also had another another rookie. I think that was that wasn't my rookie year. Maybe it was anyway, Carl Simpson, really good defensive tackle for the the semis. Mm-hmm. We were teammates. You know, obviously in pro ball, you make some type of wager when your teams play one another. We were playing the Arizona Cardinals, and we were leaving. We were going to be flying during that game. I had like one of those TVs back in the day that you had to change the channel every 2 miles while you were in the air to watch games. And so we got on the plane, and we were up like 14 or 21-0. I can't remember what the score was. So Carl tried to hand me the money that he owed me. I was like, "No, man, I'll get it from you. I want you to when we have team dinner, you can pay me in front of everybody." And I'm watching this game, buddy, on this flight to Arizona, and I wanted to jump out of the damn plane.
Oh,
I was so damn mad.
Oh, it was brutal.
And I don't know why in the world Bobby Bowden didn't go for 2, because they would have walked into the end zone.
Yeah, they would have. And then it turned out okay for him as it worked out. Shane, before you go, can I get you sworn into the Orange and Blue Bloods? Because you are one. I mean, you got to.
Okay, sure. I'll do it.
All right.
What do I do?
Very simple.
You have to raise my right hand?
You chomp. You're ready. Right over left.
Oh, okay. All right. Here we go.
All right. Ready. Repeat after me. All right. This is sort of changing as we go. Say what I say. I believe in the boys and girls from old Florida.
I believe in the boys and girls from old Florida.
In all kinds of weather.
In all kinds of weather.
And I won't back down.
And I won't back down.
You're in, brother. Orange and Blue Blood. There you go. Yeah. Got to do one of those at the end for sure. All right, you're in, buddy. Let's get it going.
It sounds like a TV show. You know, there's a TV show called Blue Bloods.
I do.
All right, buddy. Who's on your show tonight?
David Whitley and Lauren Meadows. We talk about the stadium, all the things we saw, and hey, football season's here. I can't wait. I'm ready for it, Shane. Let's do it.
All right, buddy. Be good. We'll talk to you next week, my man. That's Buddy Martin. Join us on the Titan MR hotline. Take a time out. We'll come back. We'll wrap. We won't wrap up. We'll get to your Facebook Lives and your text message. You're watching and listening to Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co., Ruse Ogra State Farm Insurance, Doreen Wiebe Realtor Caldwell Banker MM Parish. Our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, MB Listing, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Avra and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit podupwithshane.com and click the Advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Pro football legend Emmitt Smith understands your joint pain.
It does not surprise me that there are a ton of people out there that's in pain.
That's why Emmitt is such a proponent of QC Kinetics, offering real lasting joint pain relief with non-surgical, all-natural biologic treatments.
Whether it's a joint pain, ankle pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, hip pain, any kind of pain, the body eventually will break down when it's under that much stress.
That stress can cloud your judgment to the point that you'll just say yes to the scalpel or yes to another prescription of pain pills. But maybe it's time for a second opinion from QC Kinetics.
The reason why I would recommend this is because the natural biologics that QC Kinetics is providing you gives your body a chance to naturally heal itself.
Restorative, regenerative solutions are here. Get lasting relief and live your life.
Call QC Kinetics 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to carry. Celebration Point. It's where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Escape Apology, Sushi Hana, Regal Cinemas, Kilwins, Le Macaron, Prime and Pearl, the HBC's restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, where every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 2:30 you can get the hottest brunch in town. We will see you at Celebration Point where the Gators go to celebrate. I want to thank Buddy Mark for joining us. Got a couple of Facebook Lives to get to here. Camp says, Shane, what do you know about the Kitna kid? He was recruited by Mullen, but is there a chance being the kid of a former QB that he comes in there and really tosses the ball up and down the field? If so, how does that work with Napier and how he wants to use his quarterback? Jalen, I've watched him practice a little bit. He's got a long release, but he's smart. He's a good teammate. You can tell kids like him. Time will tell. I mean, he's a young kid. He's a tall guy, a lot taller than his dad. There was another Facebook Live brought to you by Melvin Law I want to get to here. Loreno says, Shane, you guys have talked about what happens if Utah wins the game, but what happens if Florida season if we win? Well, I mentioned this the other day. I was talking to a buddy of mine who knows football, and he brought up a good point. He says, poor old Billy is kind of in a no-win situation, meaning you lose to Utah, there's going to be that Gator fan base that says, here we go again. You beat Utah, people think you're going to win the national title or the SEC, and then you have a chance you may lose to Kentucky the following week. So, I mean, look, you want to win every game you play. I think people don't realize how good Utah is. The average fan doesn't realize that. They're a very good football team, but Florida can win the game. I think Florida, the crowd, the heat, turnovers, that's going to be the recipe of upsetting the Utah Utes. So we'll see. Should be a great atmosphere in the swamp, no question about it. Greg says, what is the best game of week 0? FSU at Duquesne, School of the Blind. Yeah. I didn't even know Duquesne played football. I know they play basketball. The best game this week is the Big Ten game over in Ireland. It's Nebraska and Wisconsin, I think. No, Nebraska Northwestern, I believe. That's clearly the best game being played in Ireland. At Chris Doring Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today at 352-244-0840. Let's get to this day in sports. Brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. Comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise. Beat the summer heat. Schedule your air conditioners tune up today, keeping you chill in the Florida heat far away. Comfort Temp Heating and Air. Call us today at 352-376-2366. This day in sports. In 1933, the first televised boxing match, a 6-round exhibition at Broadcasting House in London between middleweights Archie Sexton and Laurie Rotary, aired on the BBC network. That's the first televised boxing match. That's brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. John says, QB, who has the tougher opening 2 games to start the season in Florida? With that said, they are winnable games. Well, you got 2 ranked teams. I don't know anybody that's got a tough start like we do. I think Georgia only plays 2 ranked teams as of today on their schedule. I think Alabama only has 2 ranked teams on their schedule. We have 4, I believe. It's a difficult schedule, difficult start to say the least. I think we need to hope for a 1-1 start. I think that will be huge. Greg says on Facebook Live, Scott Frost is on the hot seat. I would think so. Remember, a lot of Gator fans wanted Scott Frost, and they're struggling at his alma mater. Let's take our final time out, come back. We'll tell you what's going to happen on tomorrow's program. You're watching and listening to Pot Up Matthews in the Morning.
1st and 10. Matthews, near side, wide open, Alonzo Sullivan. He may go. Touchdown, Gators.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co., Ruse Ogra State Farm Insurance, Doreen Wiebe Realtor Caldwell Banker M.M. Parish. Our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, MB Listing, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Avra and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the Advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Ruse Oga State Farm Office is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visit ograinsurance.com. Give us a call, 352-240-1779. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. We'll have JC at 8:25. We'll be joined by Mike Morgan from the SEC Network. Mike will join us every Wednesday at 8:25. Give us his thoughts on all the teams in the SEC and especially the Florida Gators. So that will be a great addition to our program. And so make sure you tune in. If you got any questions, shoot them to us on the Titan MR text line or Facebook Live, brought to you by Meldon Law. Also today, if you're interested, Coach Spurrier, myself, and Steve Russell crank up the Inside the Huddle podcast on WRUF ESPN at 11 o'clock Eastern Time. So tune into that, and I think you can send questions to the head ball coach. We'll get his thoughts on this upcoming season and go from there. But it should be a good time. And football season is here. As we said, week 0 starts this Saturday. And only really one good game. But it'll be good to watch the semis, see how they do. Because I think the following week they play LSU in New Orleans. And I don't like their chances there, but we'll see. We shall see. Hope you enjoyed today's program. Make sure you tell all your friends and family to follow our programs on all the different platforms out there. There's a ton of them. And you can check us out live, or you can watch it on tape or listen to it as you're working out or working in the yard, mowing the grass, whatever it may be. But make sure you tune in tomorrow for Mike Morgan from the SEC Network. Have a great day, folks. We'll see you tomorrow.